And we are live. What's up, guys? It's Tuesday Night Trash Talk with me and Pistol Packing Pilot. And welcome our guest, Liberty Stacking. What's up, Liberty?
What's up?
going
How y'all
on,
doing tonight?
Liberty? How you doing, brother?
Can't complain.
Awesome.
What you drinking there, bud?
I picked it up today, actually. Some Lead Slingers bourbon whiskey. It's where are they out of? Here, before I spill this all over the place. So this was founded in 2013 by 7 combat vets.
Oh, wow.
They're out of Oklahoma. So
Oklahoma.
We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee.
I cannot do that dark liquor, man. That shit would just spell trouble.
Oh, fuck. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Let me do that.
No, Mrs. Triple P. I'm not going to be doing any type of dark liquor. I'm good.
Just light liquor, right?
Tito's, the healthy way to drink.
Tito's.
I'm on a weight loss journey.
My father-in-law loved that stuff, that Tito's vodka.
Oh, man, that stuff is insane.
I know for the longest time, Tito's was sponsoring the Ducks Unlimited chapter that I'm a part of, and they were just throwing that stuff out there all the time. I mean, I'm just not a vodka person.
I'm with you, man. I like whiskey, and then I like liqueurs and stuff. I love Jaeger. I like tequila.
I can't do Jaeger.
You know what they say about tequila? Tequila makes your clothes leave you.
It also makes you have to have bail money in the morning.
I was on the way to work this morning. I was listening to the radio and Margaritaville came on. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing here in New York? I could be on the beach in Florida, surrounded by palm trees, beautiful sun, and no clouds in the skies. But no, I'm in fucking New York.
Well, you're supposed to be coming down for my big old hootenanny.
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 Is it a hootenanny or is it a hoedown? Is it a hoedown or a hootenanny?
Technically, it would be a shindig.
Not that Triple P knows how to throw a fucking party or anything.
A hootenanny, a shindig, or a
hoedown.
Hoedown.
The hoedown gonna go down.
Who do we got in the chat so far? What's up, B2? Haley Newton.
Haley Newton.
I think it's tequila makes your clothes fall off.
No, tequila makes your clothes leave you. Same thing. Sounds a little more like a rhyme.
When I go on vacation, like the beaches and stuff, me and my wife love like beaches, Caribbean. The two main drinks we drink when we're on vacation, like on a beach, is tequila and amaretto sours.
Oh man, amaretto. It's amaretto.
No, we don't mix them. No,
stone sour. Amaretto stone sour is what it is.
Yeah, we don't mix them, but that's our go-to drinks when we go to on vacation. For on the beach in Florida or
The only way I drink amaretto is like for making flaming Dr. Peppers.
I love amaretto. It gives you heartburn, but that shit's fucking good. And those drinks are dangerous, margaritas and amarettos, because it doesn't taste like alcohol,
but it creeps up on you.
Oh yeah, you're chugging them suckers, and before you know it,
yeah,
and it fucked up.
Creeps up on you, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Holy shit, we got a party!"
Yeah, exactly. But if I'm, if when I get home from work and I want a nice drink, I'll do straight Jack with ice. And then at a party, if I'm at a bar, I'll do some Jaeger shots, Jaeger bombs. Fucking, I'm outside today, and New York, there's no in between. It's not just hot. It gets humid, and these fucking bugs, man, crazy.
Well, at least in New York, they look like bugs. Down here in Florida, freaking
They're
bugs hit you in the
dinosaurs.
head and they fucking knock you out because there's a size of a small Volkswagen.
Dude, I'm sure you'll see one. You'll see one probably past my screen. We have these big fucking beetles. They're like water beetles or whatever, and they fucking fly out, and they hit the house, and it hits it like it like a paintball. Like, you know, when you shoot a paintball gun and it splats. These
I
fucking
mean, he's got to be talking about June bugs or something.
dude, they're humongous, and they fly, and they're like they have no
Define
coordination.
humongous. Define humongous.
Yes, yeah, we're from the South, patriotic.
Like, are they
so
bigger than this 45 caliber?
Oh yeah, about that size, if not bigger. They're beetles. They're flying beetles that can barely fly, and they fly towards the light of your house, and they smack against your house. They're fucking beetles. You can hear them. You can hear them coming from a mile away. Bzzz.
Sailor Stacking says, "What's up, evening Sailor?" And blind Silver Stacker 47 is here too. He said,
We need a cruise.
He needs a cruise. They haven't been on a cruise. I can't fucking go on a cruise. They won't let me cruise. We've had 3 cruises booked, and they had to fucking cancel all 3 of them because I'm dangerous.
I was just talking to my buddy. He booked a cruise for 2020 until the COVID broke out. He paid $2,100 each for him and his wife, so it was like $4,000, but everything's included on the boat.
Dude, and I've had fucking 3 cruises booked. One of them was a fucking $9,000 Disney cruise.
Yeah, this one's Norwegian, I guess. Norwegian Cruise Lines, and I guess they're going to Bahamas.
Dude, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
like,
he's been waiting 3 years, dude. 3 years to get on it.
Between the 3 cruises we've had booked, I had like $15,000 wrapped up in it, and I eventually got all my money refunded, but it was a pain in the ass to get the money back, and it wasn't even my fault because I'm dangerous because I won't take their fucking experimental drugs, so they won't let me on their damn ship.
Wait, so if you don't have a vaccine, you can't go on a cruise?
Correct.
Yeah. Guess Correct. Never go on that cruise she wants to go on.
I cannot fucking cruise because I'm dangerous because I won't put that shit in my body. And if you want to put it, like I've said from the beginning, guys, I don't know if y'all are vaccinated. I don't really give a shit.
Oh, fuck that.
I've
the only reason at the time was when the vaccines first came out. Our boss was able to get some for everybody, and he asked us if we'd be willing to have a vaccine, and I chose to do it.
See,
because at the time, based off what we knew, it was a decent decision to make at the time.
See, it's not that I think the vaccination is good for people that are elderly or people that have underlying health conditions, diabetes, lung problems, weak immune systems.
Patriotic. Here's the first problem, though. You're calling it something that it's not. It's not a vaccination. It's a shot.
Well,
because by definition, a vaccination eradicates a disease, and they've already admitted that
it doesn't do shit.
Right.
But you know what I mean? They're calling it a vaccination, but obviously it's not.
And it doesn't stop you from getting the fucking thing either.
No.
So
most of the hospital cases right now, as we speak, the hospital cases that are in the hospital are vaccinated people. But the thing is, like I said, I'm against the vaccination for kids. I'm against the vaccination for adults, healthy adults. But like people like my grandmother that's 80 years old, I don't think, it's bad for the elderly, you know what I mean? But other than that, I'm against it. Me and my kids, my family, we didn't get it. The only one that got it was my grandmother.
I'm not against it, though. Everyone thinks I'm against it. I'm not against it. I'm against them forcing people to get it. I'm against the mandate. I've said from the beginning, if you want to get that shit, God willing, by all means, go get it. You should be able to get it. And I don't give a flying fuck if you get it or not. But by the same token, don't fucking tell me what to do with my health.
Exactly. I'm against mandates with anything. It's wrong. we have the choice. That's why we live in our country. That's why it's the freest country in the world. We should have a choice what we want to do. But yeah, no, exactly. I wouldn't. Honestly, I don't think the vaccination. I don't. It's like you said. The best immunity is natural immunity. There's nothing that's gonna beat that.
Of course.
That's what they're wondering why people are getting sick. Well, because they're cooped up in a house for many years. They're wearing masks when they go out. Well, listen, go out, fucking touch things. Go to your fucking bathroom. Not wash your hands. Do whatever. Build your fucking immunity. You've been stuck in a house for 3 years.
I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm going to tell you guys something. Something crazy about building immunity, and this is on a much smaller scale. And there's no science behind this, but this is what my experience is. I used to, every time when I would get into another aircraft, I would take alcohol wipes and wipe everything down. I would wipe down the side stick that I used to fly the fucking jet with, wipe down the thrust levers, wipe down the radios, wipe down everything that I fucking touch, almost like a fucking germaphobe. And I was always getting sick. Several years ago, like maybe probably 4 years ago, I stopped doing that. I stopped wiping down everything. And I've always been a clean person, but I figure, you know what? Why the fuck bother? Like, I'm still getting, like, it feels like a fucking sinus infection every couple of months. Fuck this. So I stopped wiping shit down, and now I hardly ever fucking get sick.
Exactly.
And there's no, I have no data to present to prove it other than what my personal experience has been. But the only data out there is that, there is some factual information that when you expose yourself to certain types of bacteria and some certain level of germs, you actually build up a stronger immune system.
Exactly. And that's I'm 100% for natural immunity. And not only that, like when you go to the doctors, like if you have high blood pressure, they'll give you these medications, right? Well, there's so many vitamins you can take that can help that. There's so many natural ways you can do to help things like that. I'm for, using natural medications and building your immunity versus, shooting all these things in your arms and taking all these medications. If you look at a lot of medications or even on TV, they have, for example, Chantix is a medication that helps you quit smoking.
That stuff is dangerous.
It helps you quit smoking, but can cause heart attack, can cause stroke, can cause this and that, blah, blah. And I understand they have to list, out of 1 million people that take it, one person can have a heart attack due to the medicine. They have to list that because of lawsuit reasons and stuff. But still, you know what I mean? On these medications, there's more side effects than it does good for you. It's crazy.
Well, at the end of the day, if you take the medication, you're not going to take it for a long time. You're going to take it for a short time to help you quit smoking.
I was taking that and they recalled it. They had a recall. So now the doctor wants to give me Wellbutrin to help me quit smoking. But I said, Doc, isn't that for like people with depression and anxiety? And they said, yeah, but it's also used for quit smoking. You're supposed to set a date that when you want to quit that day, and then you start taking it that day for about 2 weeks, and then it supposedly crushes the craving. But I'm not gonna take that. What I gotta do is just suck it up, throw the fucking cigarettes out, and just chew gum or something and just try to get off it myself because I'm not.
How long have you been smoking, Patriotic?
Since I was 18 years old. So
about 8
26
years.
Yeah, 8 years.
Okay, that's not like an overly insane.
No, it's not crazy, but
I mean,
it's not crazy. I've known people that smoked 30 years before they quit.
I've known people that have smoked 30 years and they literally were smoking 3 packs a day and they said, fuck this, and they threw it away.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's how I quit. Oh, I can tell you, I tried to quit several times and couldn't. But the day I saw Liberty Jr.
These fucking
pick up a cigarette off and like he was smoking it like I was, like I threw that cigarette down and I didn't smoke again. That was it. At that point, I was completely done because I didn't want my son to ever do that. I didn't want him to do something that I knew was harmful. I didn't want him to have to go through it.
Well, my kids, for example, they're like my 7-year-old son, my 3-year-old daughter. They're already starting to notice. My son Blake, every day, you told me you're going to quit. When are you going to quit, Daddy? When are you going to quit? You got to quit smoking. That's not good for you. And then my daughter Ava, she's like, why are you smoking? You shouldn't be smoking. So, at the end of the day, I've only been smoking 8 years, and people are like, oh, it's easy. You get off, your health will be good. You've only been smoking 8 years. Well, I've known people that smoked 5 years and got lung cancer. I've known people that smoked 80 years and that's healthier than a bull. It all depends on your body, and everyone's different. But the thing is, I need to quit smoking now because I don't want to be one of those people that been smoking for 20, 30 years. And plus, I have 4 kids that I want to live for.
I mean, I had several people in my family that smoked, and they lost their fight with cancer and emphysema.
Yeah.
And I just don't want that for my family. I don't want to see. I don't want to see my sons make the mistakes I made. I want them to be better men than I am.
Exactly. I think we all want that for our kids. We all want our kids to not, like my job. Yeah, I get good money. My business, I bring in good money, but I don't want my kids doing that. I don't want my son doing that. It's too hard on your body. And most people in my trade, they die. They're lucky if they make it to 70 because they work their body so hard. And, you're breathing in this polyurethanes and sawdust. It's bad for you. So I don't want
you're wearing respirators and shit, right? Patriotic?
Not respirators. We wear masks sometimes, but when you're set in your ways and you've been doing floors, there's not a mask that's comfortable. And you're sweating in a 100-degree house, especially with these machines running. You don't want the rubber in the back of your neck and sweating and the mask, and you can barely breathe as it is with the mask on. Knee pads. The straps. It sweats behind your knees, and so we should be.
You're already fucking yourself up with your career. You definitely don't need to be smoking because you're just throwing in another risk factor for lung issues.
Exactly. So yeah, I need to quit smoking and I need to start wearing a mask.
So that's obviously one way to get healthy. And then of course you guys know the biggest way is what I'm still trying to do, which is fucking lose weight.
So, yeah, I don't have that problem.
You're in good shape, dude. But man, I was up to 339 at one point. So I weighed in this morning and I was down to like 211.8. So I'm down like another half a pound this week. And I need to patriotic. You don't know I'm going to do this, but I did ask permission before we came on. And you guys know that you guys are like brothers to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the two of us, we talk offline all the time. We talk about our kids, et cetera, et cetera. And we both know that there's 2 friends of ours, patriotic, that could also stand to lose a little weight. And one of them is my boy Liberty, who's on right now, and the other one is Pirate Stacker. So about Liberty, how long ago was it? About a month ago? A couple months ago?
Probably like 2 months ago.
Maybe like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
I got a little competition. This is for all of you guys in the chat. I want you guys to know about it, and I asked permission before I started talking about this. But I want you guys to help me cheer these dudes on, because I told Liberty Stacking and I told Pirate Stacker that the first one to get below 300 pounds, I'm giving them a 10th of gold. So I don't know who it's going to be. What? You didn't know that, patriotic?
Would you say you were going to do what?
Whoever gets down below 300 pounds first, between Liberty and Pirate, I'm giving them 1/10 of an ounce of gold.
Okay, so what can I do to get a 1/10 ounce of gold?
I want. Hold on. No. This is
smoking.
Perfect. You opened up a can of worms, motherfucker.
Quit smoking, right?
I want you to quit smoking for 60 days.
60 days. Well, I might as well. If I quit that long, I might as well quit.
Well, ding, 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 ding. That's the idea.
Okay.
Dude, you will feel 100% better when you quit smoking.
Oh, dude, I believe
your first 2 weeks, you're going to feel like just hammered shit. And then after that, it's just going to be like, it's not even going to matter anymore.
You guys are both my bros, and I love you like brothers, and I would hate to see anything happen to any of you. So yeah, you quit smoking for 60 days, patriotic, and I'll give you 1/10 of an ounce of gold. Fucking patriot or Liberty and Pirate, fucking race to 300 pounds. Get after it.
What do you
1/10 of an ounce of gold.
Liberty, what are you weighing at now?
The last time I weighed, I was like right at 340-ish.
And Pirate?
He's about the same. He might be a little lighter.
Yeah. No, I've never had a problem with weight.
It's really hard in South Louisiana. We have so much good food that we cook all the time.
Oh yeah, especially you're down south. You guys love your barbecue and shit.
Dude, what are you talking about, right? We boil and fry everything.
Yeah. But you see, like when you go down south, everything you got those barbecue, fucking everywhere. It's barbecue stands and shit. But you got down south. They got some good food, man.
So they got this little barbecue joint like right by where I work. It is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But I can't go there because after I go there and eat, like I feel horrible the rest of the day.
These fucking bugs are terrible outside. I should have not filmed outside.
And I sit there and I have
forming around here.
And listening to y'all talk about barbecue tonight doesn't bother me in the slightest, because tonight we had our cheat meal.
Well, yo, bro, I'm really proud of you for getting where you're at now with your weight.
What was your cheat meal?
What was my cheat meal?
Yeah.
Fucking Mexican. We went to this really good Mexican restaurant. I had man, the dish that I can't even pronounce what I had. It was something Jalisco, and it's served in like this piping hot stone bowl, and it's like chicken, fajita meat, jalapenos, green peppers, onions, rice, beans, shrimp. And like all these Mexican seasonings and spices, and it's actually kind of like medium to a little spicy, probably a little more on the spicy side. And they give it to you with like 3 or 4 flour tortillas, but I didn't even eat the tortillas. I just ate the fucking bowl of fucking meat. And I had a hard time finishing it. It was fucking delicious. But
yeah, I like Mexican food.
I love it. We used to have a restaurant in where I grew up in Baton Rouge, and then they opened one in Slidell. It was called Poncho's, and it was a Mexican buffet. So like they would set it up like a buffet. You just go in there, buy your plate and sit down and make whatever you wanted. And you go back to the buffet line as many times as you want. And for dessert they would bring you sopapillas and honey, which that's why I'm like 300 pounds, because like over here hearing you talk about, and all I can think about is I want a sopapilla with some honey in it.
Well, but here's the thing, Liberty. You can still have that. What you do is you use it as a cheat meal. You give yourself one cheat meal a week. This is what I've been doing ever since I started losing all this weight. You do it as a reward to yourself. You look at each week as 6 fucking days, one day at a time. Because if you look at, oh my God, I need to lose 150 fucking pounds, it's like this massive hurdle, and it overwhelms you, and you set yourself up for failure. Losing weight is all fucking mental, 100% mental. If you can just look at it like the way an alcoholic looks at fucking trying to quit drinking, one day at a fucking time, you've got it fucking licked, because you're laying in bed getting ready to fall asleep at night, and you feel good and you feel satisfied because you're like, you know what? I fucking won today. Today was a win. And tomorrow I'm going to wake up and it's going to be another win. And you keep stacking win after win after win. And next thing you know, the fucking numbers on the scale just get smaller and smaller and smaller. It is 100% mental, driving your nutrition. And it's 100% nutrition. Like, exercise is fucking great and it helps, but 99% of it is what you stick in your pie hole.
Yeah. And it's, like you said, man, it's a great feeling knowing that that day you ate healthy and you worked out. Even if you worked out for 30 minutes out of the whole day, it's a great feeling once you've worked out, even though if it hurts or, you're in pain. Once you go, you take a nice shower after you work out, you feel like $1,000,000.
Oh, yeah.
And especially if you ate good, and you can, and another thing too, Liberty, because I never really had problems with weight. When I was in middle school, I got chunky. I was kind of fat. And then in high school, I started running track and, I was getting, healthy and fit. And obviously now I stay fit because of my job. But, it's a great feeling, working out. And too, you can eat a lot of things, you could still stick to a lot of things that you eat. The only thing I would cut out 100% would be, fast food, and soda. And then,
but see,
carbs.
that's the great thing though, Patriotic, is he doesn't have to cut it out. If he wants to go to fucking McDonald's as his cheat meal, he can fucking do that.
Yeah, as a cheat meal.
Well,
once a week. But you can eat everything. It's just in portions. You got to portion yourself, and you got to watch out what times you eat. You can't have a midnight snack at 10 o'clock at night.
No. That fucking kills you. That goes right to your ass.
Yeah. Cut your meal out around.
It usually pops at my stomach first, and then shows up at the ass.
Yeah. Cut your meals out at like 6, 7 o'clock, no later than 7.
I'm done eating every day by 4:30. I don't even eat past 4:30 p.m. Patriotic.
Yeah, some people are different. We cook dinner at around 5, 6, and that's it. You know what I mean? That's it. And because you need I guess a couple hours before you go to bed.
Well, yeah, because if you fucking shove all that shit in your stomach and then you go straight to sleep, you're just laying in bed completely dormant, and it fucking turns right to fat.
Yep. Yeah. But you can stick to eating a lot of things. We, like I said, I have no weight problems, but we eat relatively healthy. We eat a lot of chicken, grilled chicken, and we eat a lot of fruit and vegetables. And
your favorite person's here. She's trying to hide now.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Oh, there's Mrs. Liberty. How you doing,
Mrs. Liberty?
She's getting more margaritas out the refrigerator.
Oh, damn. You got a party. You got a party over there.
Well,
see, it started off. I made her a shower margarita.
What's up, John Morgan?
Shower, and then I took her out to dinner, and she got even more drunk at dinner. And then, then she was puking in the tub instead of the toilet.
I did not puke in the tub.
Yes, you did. I had to clean it out of the tub.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna say this on the air right now too, guys. Me and Liberty Stacking are going to
the lottery or the fun
Alabama. We're going to Alabama in January on a deer hunt. So and Mrs. Triple P is coming, and Mrs. Liberty Stacking is coming, and Haley Newton and her husband are coming. So there's a group of stackers and YouTubers that are going on this whitetail deer hunt in January. So if any of y'all are interested, drop Liberty Stacking a line, because he seems to have the inside information on it. I think the hunt might be sold out, but they might get slots that open up occasionally.
All right, you realize you just sold me down the river, right?
Why is that?
Because I had Mrs. Triple P call her to pretend it was y'all's idea, not mine.
Well, it was our idea. It was our idea.
Somebody's crawfishing.
No. It was our idea, but Liberty knows somebody that.
Hey, it's cool, dude. I bought her a dozen roses today, so.
Oh, shit.
Hold on.
Fuck.
Holy.
I was wondering what the roses and the steak dinner were.
So as I'm coming
That's
to the house, like I have the roses in my hand. She's like, "Oh, you bought roses for me?" And I told her, I said, "No, it's for my mistress," which is the name of my Jeep. So the next thing I know, I turn around and go get the rest of the groceries out there, and the roses are like stuffed on the hood of my Jeep.
Oh, fuck. My wife would have killed me.
Oh, man.
Well, so it started off one day. It was right before Valentine's Day. We're sitting on the couch, and I may or may not have been looking through my phone at pictures of my Jeep and other Jeeps. And she's like, "I feel like your Jeep is your mistress." And I was like, no. She's like, "I feel like you love your Jeep more than me." And I was like, no, I wouldn't. Never. So then she's like, "Well, what'd you get me for Valentine's Day? It's coming up." And I was like, I haven't got my mistress anything. So she did the whole scoot across the couch thing, like, "Don't touch me." And it was just a joke. So that's where it started from.
My favorite holiday is coming up.
4th of July?
Nope.
What, Mrs. Triple P?
This fucking bug.
Tell her she might as well get on here because Mrs. Liberty's here.
Well, Mrs. Triple P is naked in the bathtub.
Uh-oh.
I'm putting her on camera, so.
My logo is there, Mrs. Triple P.
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's just a blank screen with just a circle.
Yeah, no logo.
Yeah, that's Patron, Triple P, and then me.
You done fucked up. You done did it now.
That's all right. Mrs. Triple P and Mrs. Liberty were probably talking shit about us on like Facebook.
All right.
There's his logo.
How about now?
Yeah, we got
it. There. All right. Triple
Liberty.
Figure this shit out. I am not the most I'm not the most tech savvy guy in the world.
Liberty, I've never asked you this, but what got you to start stacking? When did you start stacking? This fucking bug loves my maples, man. He's going nuts. He's jumping on this fucking thing. This one, the 2021 maples, the same bug. Keep on watching. The same fucking bug goes on this one.
Dude, are those termites?
Fuck you.
You're literally in the bathtub with your iPhone. Really?
Wait,
don't drop it.
First off,
it's a fucking $1,500 iPhone, and you're in the bathtub with it.
Yeah, y'all are supposed to be talking about what you think about Platinum, not Mrs. Triple P in the bathtub.
Oh, it's more fun looking at you naked in the bathtub, to be honest with you.
Yep, this shit's going off the rails.
By the way, what?
You done fucked up with Liberty. Your damn mouth always gets you in trouble.
I'm gonna go
I'm gonna go have a conversation with Miss Liberty now.
Wait, how did he get me in trouble?
I'll call you.
Yeah, call me.
Mrs. Liberty, you gotta have a conversation with Mrs. Liberty.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you done fucked up.
Done. You done fucked up.
All right. I'm gonna leave the bathroom, and you can talk to Mrs. Liberty. Oh, damn.
Ain't gonna tell you none of my secrets.
Well, fuck.
Yeah.
Mrs. Triple P's texting Miss Liberty, and like she's trying to hide the phone from me, so I can't see what they're texting.
Oh. All I know is my wife just told me I done fucked up.
Hey, listen, Liberty. I think Triple P is gonna have to send you that 1/10 of an ounce gold coin sooner.
Nope. Deal's deal. Lose the weight first. It's a fucking race.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Hey, you know what? Let's ask the people in the chat. Let's ask the people in the chat who's gonna win. They're both about the same weight. Both
who's
Pirate.
Gonna get to it first, Pirate or Liberty?
I think they're within like 3 or 4 pounds of each other.
I'm telling you, Liberty's gonna get it first. You know why I think Liberty's gonna get it first? Because Pirate is a fucking chef. He loves his food. He's a chef. You know, if he wants something, he'll fucking cook that shit. So I think Liberty's gonna. I think Pirate's gonna be close. He's still gonna get to his goal. But I think Liberty's gonna win.
Chef, but tonight I cooked my wife with smothered mushrooms, onions, jalapenos, and a crawfish boil cheese. Putting the top. Some Texas garlic toast, some Arby's fries, and baby back ribs.
Damn.
Bread on top. So, because when I cook, I try to cook for like 2 or 3 days, so I don't have to cook again.
Hey, there's a comment in the chat here from Let Freedom Ring. Anyone know about the WEF takeover? Think it's time to stack? LOL.
Well, speaking of
forum.
Yeah, have you guys seen their official YouTube channel? I just found this the other day. They have actually.
What the fuck is WEF? I've never heard.
World Economic Forum. They're the ones who are pushing the Great Reset.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
So
I didn't know the abbreviation.
If you go to their official YouTube channel, and it's got like 700 or 800,000 subs on it, they actually have a video talking about how we as a world, as a as a globe full of people.
Are you really gonna go out that door that's all noisy?
We need to hit the reset button. And the title of their video is actually called "We Need a Reset" or "The Great Reset" or something like that. And it's actually on their official fucking YouTube channel.
All right, Trophy.
What?
So evidently Mrs. Trophy is selling us down the river to Miss Liberty stacking.
Whoa, wait, what?
She's telling her everything about the hunting trip.
What do you mean?
She come in here, she's like kind of shaking her finger, like, I got you.
There's that fucking bug again. On the 2021 Maple Leafs.
No, we're good, dude. She's not mad. She is not mad. She's having fun.
Just tell.
That's what you say until you get off the stream. And
Mrs. Liberty.
Fuck that. I'm master of my domain.
She's gonna paddle your ass.
Mrs. Liberty, we did it because we love you guys. That's why we did it.
She's outside smoking a cigarette.
Oh shit, she's pissed.
No, she's not. Wouldn't be smiling. I know when she gets mad.
Okay.
Trust me, I've seen that several times.
Damn.
So the last time she really got mad was when I bought a gun, because I told her I wasn't going to buy any more guns till I bought her a gun. And so I bought a gun, and it just so happened that I had a suppressor get approved from the feds. And then I realized when I went to pick up the suppressor that I didn't actually have a host for the suppressor. So I had to buy a gun for the suppressor. So she caught me bringing the gun in. If that makes any sense.
Liberty, what got you start stacking?
John Morgan said, World Economic Forum believes there's too many people.
Oh, yeah. Population control.
He said they believe in only 500 million people that a lot. Oh, 500 million people alive. Only
500 million people alive. That is I think the Earth is like 6-7 billion in population right now.
It's like almost 8 billion now. I'm going to tell you guys something really scary to go along with what John Morgan is saying, and I don't want to put on a tinfoil hat too tight tonight. But in all seriousness, if you've heard, I'm actually curious. Hey, Patriotic, how many guys are in the chat right now? How many are there?
14. It fluctuates from 14 to like 18.
If you've heard of the Georgia Guidestones,
what is that?
Exactly. If you've heard of the Georgia Guidestones, drop a message in the chat right now and say you know what that is. And while we're waiting for that, I'm going to tell you what it is. The Georgia Guidestones, and again, I don't want to put my tinfoil hat on tonight, but this is everything I'm about to tell you is 100% factual. You can go onto Google, you can go onto DuckDuckGo, whatever internet browser you want to use. You can Google this, it's all public knowledge. But the Georgia Guidestones is a monument that is actually classified as it's kind of like the Stonehenge of the United States. But it's very, very different. It's this monument that's built in the middle of nowhere in the state of Georgia. And this monument has slabs, stone slabs, and there's 10 guidelines that are written on these stone tablets. And these 10 guidelines are written on all these separate stone tablets in like, it's either 5 or 7 different languages, including even like some Arabic language. There's a Hebrew language. So we're talking some of the languages dating back to like biblical times, and those are included in this monument that's built in the middle of nowhere in Georgia. And of these guidelines, the number one guideline on the Georgia Guidestones is that the world's population must be reduced and maintained at 500 million people or less to maintain a balance with nature. And that is 100% factual. Maybe that's where John Morgan is getting it from. But aside from that, there's also some very other interesting stuff about this monument. There's like it can, like, if you look through one hole, you can see the sun like exactly at noon. You can see the North Star or something like that through some other hole. There's all this weird shit about this monument. But what's even stranger is this monument was mysteriously built in like the mid 1980s. And it was built by a man who nobody knows who his identity was. But he went by the name of, I'm probably going to screw this name up, but it was like something weird like J.C. Christensen or some shit like that. But that was not his real name. Anyways, when you do some digging into this, it's like, okay, well, stone tablets, 10 guidelines written on stone tablets in multiple languages. Is there anything that stands out to you that has a little bit of a similarity to? Like maybe in biblical times?
Yeah. 10 Commandments.
When Moses came down off of Mount Sinai with the 10 Commandments written on stone tablets, it's almost like this monument is almost like a mockery of the 10 Commandments. And then and guys, if you know who the name was of the guy who had this design, because I'm probably screwing up his name, but it was like J.C. Christensen or something like that. Anyways, it was almost like JC, you could maybe think Jesus Christ, or Christensen. It's almost like a spin-off of the word Christian. But there's all kinds of little weird subliminal things that are factually correct about this monument and who designed it and how it came to be, and nobody fucking knows what happened to the guy who designed it. Nobody knows what his real name was. That was an alias that he used, and he spent millions and millions of dollars to have these Georgia Guidestones built. And then he just disappeared.
You want to get in the tub talk? Like what? Okay.
And then he just disappeared into thin air, and like he had this monument built specific to very, very distinct specifications. And once it was built, no one ever heard another word about him, and nobody ever knew what his real name was. J.K. Pioneer said it's meant for rebuilding after a world collapse. Very, very, very possible, J.K. Pioneer. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know a whole lot about him. Like I said, I don't want to put the tinfoil hat on too tight. But when John Morgan said 500 million people, that was bang. That immediately popped back into my head, because I know the number one guideline on those Georgia Guidestones is to reduce and maintain the world's population of 500 million people.
Dude, these elites, the people that run the world, they're Satanists. They're flat out satanic. They're Satanists. They worship the devil.
My father, old man P, he's definitely a conspiracy theorist. And some of the stuff that him and I talk about, I just look at him and I'm like, Dad, really? Where are you coming up with this shit?
But guess what? Most of it's true. And it all comes together and it makes sense.
But here's the thing. Here's what scares me, patriotic and liberty. My dad has been telling me about the Great Reset for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And I told him he was fucking a whack job. And now here we are, and we're fucking living it. You cannot deny that the Great Reset is real. It is no longer a conspiracy theory. They are talking about it openly and publicly. They are advocating and lobbying for this Great Reset.
Watch this fall. This fall, it's going to be bad.
So, you know, and I don't want to say I'm a conspiracy theorist, guys, because I don't believe I am. I try to look at things factually and objectively, and I try to look at all of the evidence, and I try to weigh the good with the bad. But it's even like with this shooting that happened in Uvalde, Texas. Like, what the fuck? Like,
well, I know they were saying school shooting today.
There what?
There was a school shooting today at Xavier University in New Orleans.
Okay. What are the details, Liberty?
I want to say, don't quote me 100%. I want to say it was 1 or 2 killed. Let me.
You know why it's not reported? There was 12 shootings Memorial Day weekend. There was 12 shootings across the country. 12 mass shootings. And they only broadcast it if it's a big shooting, or if it's dealing with minority people, or a white man with a gun going in somewhere and shooting, because it fits their agenda. But you hear about these other shootings and they don't broadcast it at all. You don't even know about it. Like, for example, this one you're talking about now. I haven't heard shit about it.
I haven't heard about that.
2 injured in school shooting following a high school graduation at Xavier University.
See, you don't hear that.
So, this happened in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yep, you don't hear.
They have shootings every day in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though, with this Uvalde shooting. I mean, they happen here and there, but with this Uvalde shooting, I mentioned Uvalde because that's the one that's getting all of the press right now. Why? So some of us have law enforcement backgrounds, and I cannot imagine a police officer responding to an active shooting and just standing outside and doing nothing.
It had to take the Texas range. It had to take the border patrol, the border, to come in, step in, and barge in and eliminate the suspects.
So I'm just reading about that today, patriotic, and there was an article that Snopes just put out, and Snopes is saying that that story is only partially true. Now, take Snopes for what it is. They're liberal fucking trash. I get it. But they're saying that the Border Patrol agent did not kill the shooter, but by the same token, they're also not saying who did. So, number one, according to what mainstream media and Snopes is putting out there, we don't know who killed this psycho kid. Number two, the door was fucking propped open allegedly by a teacher, but now the teacher's coming forward and saying she didn't prop a door open. Number three, fucking cops show up, Uvalde Police Department, and they sit out there and do nothing while they're hearing gunshots ring out for over 40 fucking minutes.
And that's what
and getting 911 calls from kids screaming to fucking help them.
Yeah.
And they're being shot, and the cops are standing outside doing nothing. And they said because they could get shot themselves.
Exactly. And that's what pissed me off. I'm 100% for the cops.
Oh, absolutely. Me too.
Cop loving
and I don't want to see these guys get a bad name, give all cops a bad name, because they're a bunch of pussies.
And that's what they're going to try to do, just like with guns. But the thing is, you don't get to pick what day you're going to have as a police officer. There's going to be days you're just ticketing people for speeding. There's going to be days you're running in and trying to save someone at OD. There's going to be days you're at a car accident. And there's going to be days there's a shooting. And you need to fucking get in there with your gun and save as many people as you can. Regardless if their sergeant told them to stand down, that is a situation where you should override and go in there and save those kids.
Well, as a very wise man put it, when shit like that goes down, liberty stacking, excuse me, you just sometimes need to deputy the fuck up.
Exactly.
And you need to go in there and take care of business. And that's the best way that I think I've heard anybody put it up to this point, and how true it is. And I've got a law enforcement background, and if my commanding officer ever told me to stand down while I know kids are getting shot, you know what? SOPs be damned, orders be damned, commanding officers be damned.
Fire me.
I would rather be able to fucking sleep at night. I would rather be able to lay my head down on a fucking pillow without having fucking nightmares and seeing those kids screaming and seeing that horror in my dreams. I could not live with myself.
And that's another thing. Why would these cops be scared? There's an 18-year-old lunatic with a gun when you got probably 50 cops there with shotguns and ARs and 9mm. Are you really couldn't go into that fucking school?
Makes it patriotic. It makes no sense.
What I mean? With all those guys you had, yeah, you're gonna get shot at. That's a chance, But that any fucking time they pull over somebody, especially in a shitty area, you take that chance every day. And at least at that school, you knew what was happening. It wasn't like someone's pulling the gun right out on you, and in a short notice, and you're like, "Fuck," you know what's going on, so you can prepare yourself. Go into the fucking school. Bring 10 of your cops with you, whatever. One takes the right, one takes the left. Dude, it was terrible. And then that fucking police chief said, "Oh, we locked it. We got the suspect locked in the room. We didn't want him to spread throughout the whole school. We didn't want to get shot at. We didn't want to lose our lives."
Now he has stopped. He stopped cooperating with investigators.
Yeah, I would too, because he's digging himself a hole even worse.
There was a Fox News article that just came out this afternoon, I believe, and he's stopped cooperating with investigators, and I think it sounds like he's probably lawyering the fuck up.
Yeah, and the thing is too, I'm 26 years old. I'm young, but if I was a cop, yeah, I'm 26 years old. I'm a young officer. I'm a rookie, whatever. I would still look at those kids' life, even if I've never met those kids in my life. Hey, they're only 10, 8, 7. I'm 26. I'd rather take the bullet. That kid should live longer.
Well, here's the thing.
And not to think like that, you know what I mean? That's fuck.
This is what a lot of people don't understand either. Most people who are involved in shootings actually survive. When, like, most people actually live. And if you have a strong will to live, I truly believe that that can actually help you pull through in some of your darkest hour.
And if you have
But
faith.
yes, and you know what? At the end of the day, maybe everybody doesn't think like me, but at the end of the day, I love living. I have a lot to live for. I have a beautiful wife. I have beautiful kids. I have a great life. I have a good job. I don't want to fucking die. I'm one of the happiest people you'd ever want to meet. But at the end of the day, if I end up having to go in to try to save a kid's life, and I know there's a very realistic possibility that I can get shot and killed, you can bet your fucking ass I'm going down in a hot pile of brass, and I'm taking that son of a bitch with me.
Exactly. And it's the same thing. I remember I was driving on I forgot where I was going, but it was a couple of years ago. And I was on the highway, I was going eastbound. And I looked to my left, and I thought I seen a car going westbound in the eastbound lane. I think that's it. No, yeah, it was going the opposite way on the highway. It got off the wrong ramp. And I double looked, and I seen, oh my fuck, this guy's in the other lane. He's driving into traffic, oncoming traffic. So I got on the phone with the state trooper barracks, and it was literally right off the exit. I just got on the highway. And I said, you guys got to send someone out here. This guy's on the lane. And no more than I said, send somebody out here. He must have been going 60, 70 miles. He hit head first with another vehicle. I took that U-turn, and not thinking if the car would burst up in flames or anything. I jumped out of that car, and I made sure that they were okay, the people in these accidents. And the one guy that was in the opposite lane was shit-faced. He was drunk. Come to find out, he was he graduated college. He was going to be a lawyer, and I guess he came back from celebrating. No excuse to get behind the wheel drunk, but the guy died. You know what I mean? But I risked my life to see, no first responders were there yet, to see if they were okay, and I stood by them until the ambulance came, and the cops came and stuff. You don't think of that. That's human nature. If you see someone suffering, no matter what their age is, or in an accident, you want to help. You know what I mean? So, for these cops to just sit there and hear the screams and the gunshots, and these kids running out of the building covered in blood, and not do a fucking thing because their shitty commanding officer told them to stand down until SWAT came in.
Before I got into aviation, guys, I saw a lot of shit, as you well know, and I could deal with a lot of shit. I could watch some freaking crackhead go into a freaking closed room and blow his brains out with 12 gauge double odd buck, and then go out and get a double cheeseburger. But the shit that always fucking, I never could get callous to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that always ate me alive was watching something bad happen to a kid.
That was like
the stuff that fucked me up for weeks.
That was like me, when my son was in the hospital, because he has TSC. It's a form of epilepsy. And he had a seizure. He was like a year old, just turned a year. And we medevac. We called in. They sent a helicopter, and they picked him up. And his mother went on the helicopter with him, and I followed that helicopter to the hospital. And he was there. They were doing tests, and that's when they found out the diagnosis, what he had. Tuberous sclerosis complex, I think it's pronounced. I probably pronounced it wrong. But we were in the kids ward, where the kids, the pediatric center in the hospital, and there was kids there that didn't have family, that were dying, crying in the middle of the night. And when I was able to take our son home after 2 weeks in the hospital, dude, I was depressed for months. All I could think about was those kids that didn't have family to come see them, that were in the hospital battling cancer or other diseases, that were, you know, kids that had families, but they were still suffering from whatever disease they had. It fucked me up. And not just for a couple of weeks. I was crying at nighttime for these kids.
Well, how about Liberty stacking with baby Liberty? I mean,
that was. I've seen some very, very horrible shit in my life. Things that I wish I would have never fucking seen. But I'll do it all over again, you know, just so that my family doesn't have to see it. But going through what happened with baby Liberty stacking.
Now, explain again what exactly happened to
So,
Liberty.
Baby Liberty stacking came a month premature. It was a Sunday night, the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and Mrs. Liberty said, you know, she just didn't feel right and she was going to go to the hospital to get checked out, you know, because she was about a month away from, or about 2 weeks away from when they were going to induce labor. And, which they were actually talking about inducing or doing the C-section on my birthday. So I was kind of like, oh, that's bullshit. I'm going to lose my birthday. But, you know, the doctor's like, what do you want to change it? Nope. If you want to do it that day, we're going to do it that day. I want you to be comfortable, you know. So it was a couple weeks before that, the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and she just didn't feel right all day. She wasn't feeling the baby move like, you know, what she was used to. So she went to the hospital to get checked out. This is like 9-10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, you know, do you want me to call my father and get my father to come from, you know, halfway across the state, you know, to be with Liberty Stacking Jr. And she's like, no, it's gonna be fine. I'm just gonna get checked. You know, they're just gonna do a stress test. She's like, you go to sleep because I know you got to get up and for the work in the morning. I'm like, okay. Well, about midnight, she calls me. She's crying. She's like, they're gonna do an emergency C-section right now. You need to get to the hospital. Well, we had a really bad rainstorm that was sweeping across South Louisiana. I mean, when I say it was really bad, it was like a torrential downpour. And I called my father, woke him up in the middle of the night. He drove 70 miles to my house through this rainstorm, which was coming from his house to my house. You know, the storm was traveling with him. When he got there, I drove like a madman to the hospital. I got to the hospital right around 2:45. I finally got access to the new family area around 3, and at that point they were wheeling my wife out of surgery. And, you know, I asked the doctor, I was like, hey, you know, can I go check on my son? And they're like, oh, well, we had to take him to NICU. We had a few things we had to do. I'm like, well, he's okay. And they're like, we'll get with you in a second. Which was kind of, you know, like, yeah, all right. So I stayed with Mrs. Liberty for a while. And then I went and found the nurse. I was like, hey, look, you know, we've been in recovery for about an hour. We want to see our baby because this was our second one. We kind of knew the routine, you know. Well, we'd never dealt with a NICU situation. So, you know, they're like, well, they're in NICU trying to get the baby, trying to get the baby settled and all like that. You know, the baby's a month premature. So my wife had a gestational diabetes while she was pregnant. So baby Liberty actually was 10 pounds, 15 ounces, but a month premature. So it's abnormally big. Well, two of the problems he had was he had pulmonary hypertension, which is basically the blood vessels would clamp off going to the lungs, and he wasn't able to oxygenate his blood.
That's the last thing to develop is the lungs.
And his lungs weren't oxygenating the blood. They were trying to stabilize his blood sugar because when he was born, they couldn't even read his blood sugar. And then he had ingested meconium, which meconium is basically it's baby poop while they're in the womb. He had ingested some of that into his lungs. So those combination of things were really, really bad. You know, just one of those things wouldn't have been so bad, but the combination of all three things just, it made it a situation to where that hospital just couldn't deal with it because the meconium in his lungs was inflamming his lungs, which was causing him to get worked up, which was causing the pulmonary hypertension to clamp off and drop his O2 sats. So within about 40 hours or 36 hours of him being on this earth, the doctors at the hospital pretty much they gave us a very hard choice that if baby Liberty were to stay there, he was not going to make it. He was going to die. However, the episodes he were having of the pulmonary hypertension were coming so fast that they didn't even know if he could make a 15-minute life flight or helicopter ride from one hospital to another hospital. And he damn sure wouldn't have made the ambulance ride, because if he would have gone into one of those episodes while in transit, there would have been nothing they could have done. So, you know, we had to make one of the hardest decisions we've ever made of, you know, if he stays here, he dies. He may die in transport. You know, they don't know because everything was just, it was spiraling out of control fast. So we made the decision to put him on a life flight. And within about an hour, Ochsner, which is a huge medical facility here in South Louisiana, they are everywhere. They put a neonatal cardiologist on a helicopter and flew him across the lake. And he walked in and was just like, you know, I see this 5 times a week. Don't worry about this. This is something we deal with on a daily basis. You know, he came in and just
took it over.
He gave us hope when there was literally no hope. I mean, because when they took off to go to Ochsner main campus in New Orleans, you know, he's like, look, we're going to call you as soon as we land. We'll land in about 16, 17 minutes. You know, he's going to go straight to the NICU. This is who your nurse is going to be. You know, and, you know, my wife literally checked out of the hospital. We went home, dropped some stuff off, grabbed some more stuff, and we drove over to the lake, over across the lake to that hospital, you know, Tuesday night before Thanksgiving. And we slept in that hospital for days in that NICU room. And, I mean, on Thanksgiving Day, I mean, like, I literally had no hope, absolutely none, that my son was going to make it, because they had put him in a medically induced coma. They were suctioning in his lungs every couple hours. You know, they had him on full life support. They were going wide open with everything, just because the doctor kept saying, like, we just need to buy some time. We just need to buy some time and let his body develop. I mean, it was hard because, you know, our oldest son, you know, he was looking forward to being a big brother. You know, he was all excited, and I was thinking the whole time, like, how am I going to explain this to him that his little brother's not going to come home? And then as, you know, the first week turned into the second week, they started weaning him off of the nitric oxide to where he was just breathing regular air.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just started weaning him off the ventilators. And it was like 72 days he spent in the NICU before he finally came home. He was born Monday before Thanksgiving, and he came home right after Valentine's Day. And it was the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life.
And he's doing okay now, right?
Oh yeah, he's they had to put a feeding tube in him because one of the biggest problems they had with him was he wasn't eating like he should have been because he didn't learn how to suck and swallow at the same time. Because when a baby's born, the first thing you do is you start feeding them. So they learn to suck the milk and swallow it. Well, he didn't. So he had pretty much got accustomed to being fed through a feeding tube. And they had to put a feeding port in his stomach. And he came home and he used that port like 3 times. And then every time after that, he's been drinking out of a bottle. He's been getting bigger. He's moving around. Now we are dealing with some of the side effects of, because he was in a coma for about a month and then in NICU for like 72 days, he did not develop some of the stuff that a baby should, as far as the muscle tone. So they've diagnosed him with like low muscle tone. So we're having to see an occupational therapist every week to do exercise with him to help him strengthen his neck and his back, to help him sit up, help him hold his head up, which he's starting to get much, much better.
Yeah.
But it was a very long, scary and painful road.
Yeah.
And I did a video, what was that? Probably right after Christmas, Triple P?
Yeah, it was right. I don't remember exactly when, but
because I know they had the pictures where Santa came and visited him in the hospital.
I know when I saw that video, that was kind of like when I jumped and frickin' did something.
Because I can tell you, it was the scariest time in our lives.
And you know what? He's a healthy little boy now. I've seen pictures of him, and he reminds me of my kids because he's got red hair.
I was trying to get him on the live stream tonight, but Mrs. Liberty made him go to bed early.
He's a beautiful boy, and he's gonna live a long, healthy, beautiful life.
Thank you. I made it myself.
She's back.
And I think, me and you.
Wait. What did she say? She said what?
I said, thank you. I made it myself.
I'm pretty sure you had a little bit of help.
Just a little bit.
And I can relate with you a lot, Liberty, with that, because my scariest time of my life and my ex-wife, my first child's mother, and my wife now, because she's been there since he was a little boy, since he was 6 months old. I met my wife, and that was when my son was diagnosed with TSC. Same thing, we had we were driving, me and my wife, we were going to the store at night or something, and we got a phone call from my ex. She called my wife, freaking out, saying Blake's not responsive, he just had a seizure and he slumped over and he's just dazing. She didn't even know if he had a seizure. She didn't know because he wasn't like shaking, his eyes wasn't rolling back, and mind you, he was a year old. So she called the ambulance or something, and they sent the helicopter and landed right in her yard. And obviously the helicopter couldn't fit all 3 of us, plus the baby and the doctors that were on the helicopter, or the EMTs. So Taylor, which is my ex, went with him on the helicopter, and we drove down to Allentown, which was about 2.5-hour ride, because it was a good hospital. They didn't know what was going on, so same thing like by you, they sent him to a good hospital. And we got there, and I remember going into the ICU, and they were doing tests and stuff, and then the ICU doctor came up to me and says, we're looking through scans and we can't, it's foggy right now, but what we think he has is tuberous sclerosis complex, or in other words, TSC. And I looked at my wife, I looked at my ex, and I looked at the doctor and I said, "What the fuck is that?" It's exactly what I said. And I said, "Is that a cancer? Or is it?" And he says, "It's a rare genetic disease. Could be genetics from the parents, or it could be two parents that meet that don't match, I guess, in genes or something. That can pass it on to the kids. Even though me and Taylor don't have TSC, we could be a carrier, or it can just happen out of no, or he could just be born with that, and it wouldn't be given from us to him. He would be one of the ones that would just get it." And he explained to me it's a form of epilepsy, but it affects your heart, your liver, your kidneys, your lungs, your brain, your skin, your eyes. It causes autism, learning disabilities, a whole list of everything. It causes tumors, and cysts to grow on your organs. Now, like, it's a spectrum. You can have it and wouldn't even know it, or you can have it and you can be in a wheelchair, pretty much a vegetable. So, it was scary. And then, we went up, he brought him in to check him, after the ICU, they brought him up, they ran tests, a neurologist, a dermatologist, all these specialists. And they said it was TSC. And they said his heart was healthy. Now, if you don't have cysts or tumors on any of those organs will not get damaged. They'll be fine. But he does have cysts, and tumors on his brain. Now, these are not non-cancerous, nothing like that. And he has them on his kidneys. So they said by the time, he's older, it's possibly he can be on kidney dialysis or need a kidney transplant. And then his brain, they just monitor him. And, every so many, I think every 6 months we go and see the the brain doctor. What do they call them?
Neurologist
and the kidney doctor. What's the word? What do they call them?
The what?
The kidney doctor. What are those special?
Be urologist, huh?
Yeah. So
starts with an N, like a
nephrologist, I think.
That's it.
So we go and see them, and then obviously every year we go and make sure you go see a cardiologist and everything. So everything's good with that. He just has tumors, and cysts on his brain and his kidneys. And they just monitor him. You would never think he has anything. He hasn't had a seizure since he was 1.5. He only had 2 seizures. And obviously they say the more seizures you have, the more damage it does. So luckily, knock on wood, he hasn't had any for about 5.5 years. And he's you would never think he has anything, but on top of that, he got a kidney disease, which the TSC also is part of, which they rapidly decrease. They get worse and worse and worse through time. There's things that you could slow it down by eating healthy and staying away from certain things, but eventually he's most likely going to need kidney dialysis or kidney transplant. The brain, the only thing they can do is just monitor it, make sure they're not growing. Knock on wood, they haven't been growing. They've been pretty good. But depending on the brain, if some of these things grow on certain spots, it can do a lot of damage. And now we're also dealing with getting them evaluated for autism. We've been doing this for about 3 years, and they haven't gave us an answer because he has ADHD, and a lot of people get ADHD confused with autism because there's different spectrums. And they said there's a lot of things that show autism, but there's a lot of things that don't, because most people with autism, they don't do eye contact. They're very shy. My son Blake, he's the opposite when it comes to that. But there's other things like with what do you call it? Things that affect him, his sensory, like He doesn't like loud noises. He doesn't like certain foods, textures. Like if he has a tag on your clothes, like the brand tag that's on your shirts and your pants, I have to cut those off because he'll freak out. He'll have these fits. So, we're going through that right now to see, but, they're not giving us a straight answer because they're not sure, because it doesn't, some things will show that he has it, and then there's a lot of things that don't. So they're, on the fence. That's a heavy diagnosis to say to someone, hey, you have autism, you're on the spectrum, so they got to double check. They want to make sure 100% before they put that diagnosis on someone. But that was the scariest moment of my life, with my son, especially with this rare disease that I think it's 1 out of 4 million people get it. It's a rare disease. But yeah, no, I remember that day, and we were in the hospital for a couple weeks. And then recently, when our twins were born, they were born also a month and a half premature. My twins. So we were in the NICU and we stayed in. They were in there for 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. So I can relate with you with a lot of things.
One of the key takeaways here, guys, is we all have our little issues that we deal with at home that nobody really knows anything about. But at the end of the day, I mean, kids are a lot of work, but the rewards outweigh that tenfold. So, it's just all part of being a good parent. And you've got your good times and your bad times and your easy times and your rough times. But at the end of the day, with a little help from your wife and from God, you're going to pull through whatever gets thrown at you. And no matter how bad or how bleak things ever can look, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And while you guys were talking, I was looking at some of the comments here in the chat.
You see HDs?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. HD Dinah Lowrider told a little bit of a story. I'm just going to read it. The doctor wanted to basically the doctor was advocating to terminate a pregnancy, it sounds like. And he said that that his wife could die, and they elected to basically not do that, and everything is fine, and the baby was able to pass into the uterus, and now they made it through just fine. So as modern as and as advanced as medicine and science may be, there's a reason that doctors call it practicing medicine. And the reason is because it's a practice, and nothing is absolute. You know, most people become doctors and physicians because they want to help people, and they want to, do something noble and admirable. But at the end of the day, doctors are not God. Doctors do the best they can with the tools that they've been given. It's like me as a pilot. I do the best I can with the tools that I've been given. But if my damn wings fall off the airplane, I'm along for the ride. I mean, so you can only do so much, right? If somebody's got, stage 4 terminal cancer through their entire body, they're not God, they're not miracle workers. And at the end of the day, when it comes to diagnosing things and giving advice to patients, they're doing that based off of all of the information that they have available at that moment. And, they're not always right. They're not. And there's a lot to be said, I think, for some natural remedies as well. And I'm in no way, shape, or form advocating against science, because we take our kids to the doctor and give our kids medicine every time they get sick. I mean, that's what good parents do, right? But I think there's a lot to be said for some natural remedies and a little preventative maintenance, like just keeping your vitamin C and your vitamin D and your zinc levels in good shape, and, taking care of yourself, trying to eat healthy and do the right thing. I mean, everything is a balance. And if you rely too much on science, you may be missing out on one end. And if you don't rely enough on medicine, you may be missing out on the other end.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah, I know that seems to be one of your favorite sayings, Patriotic, and that's very true.
I take those when I feel like I'm getting sick. I down one of those fuckers.
Well, as soon as I feel like I'm getting some kind of way,
they work.
They're taking these things, and it really helps.
They work. Absolutely.
Mrs. Triple P is the one that introduced me to like those fucking airbornes. Every time you start to feel like you're getting a scratchy throat or a little bit of a congested head. Oh, I fucking popped 2 of those airbornes and I'm feeling better like within a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Miss Liberty wanted y'all to see her new wine glass.
That's awesome.
What? Hold on. What's it say? Is it too
early for wine? Asking for a friend.
No, Mrs. Liberty, it is never too early for wine.
Is this the mango
That's what
wine?
I take whenever I start feeling sick.
Is this the mango?
By the way, HD Lowrider, it's like everybody, there's good and bad in everybody. Well, there's doctors out there that actually practice to help people that want to help you. And you can tell the difference when the doctor's calling you, and instead of you having to call them to make sure you're getting your right test, and that goes above and beyond. And then you have doctors that just do it for a paycheck, that have no heart. You know what I mean? So, you were trained to listen to these doctors, when we're in desperate needs, but I always recommend getting second opinions and find the doctor that you trust and that that's for you and your family. Luckily I have a very good regular doctor that I see, primary doctor. And
my doctor is an old school guy, and he is a total asshole.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. You got some doctors that are.
When I've been in a wreck, like my back hurt, he goes, "Well, that's because you're fucking fat."
Yeah, exactly. You have doctors that
are. He doesn't sugarcoat it, does he?
No. He's like, you need to stop smoking, while he's like puffing on a fucking cigar. He's in his late 50s, early 60s, and he's like.
But that's in a way that's what you kind of want. You want a doctor that wants that doesn't sugarcoat it. You want a doctor that says, "Listen, if you don't stop what you're doing, you're gonna fucking die." You know what I mean? Because if you have some doctors that say, "Oh, you're fine, you're okay," so they don't scare you. Then you walk out and you have a massive heart attack and you're dead in the road. You want a doctor that wants you to go get tested and listen, shoot you straight. My doctor, he tells me every time I go, "Yeah, you're healthy, but you need to quit fucking smoking or you're not going to be healthy."
So the last time I went and saw my doctor, I was just at a year having not smoked. And he was, doing my little yearly checkup. And I was like, "Hey, look, I have not smoked a cigarette in a year." He looked at me. He's like, "You want a fucking cookie?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. But then
he's like, "You're 330 pounds. You were here a year ago. You were 325.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fuck. I'm just gonna shut the fuck up.
Dude, your doctor might be watching this.
He probably is. I know some of my buddies said that they were gonna come check it out.
That's awesome.
I never even had a doctor until I got to get flight physicals every 6 months, obviously, as an airline pilot.
Oh, that's
every 6 months, absolutely. I got to have an EKG every year. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. Yeah, we have medical standards.
Have a heart attack. He's like 12 pounds.
There's sim checks. There's like 5 times a year that I can lose my career, guys. I mean, there's hoops that I never stop jumping through. Anyways, that's another story.
And is that just because you're a commercial airline pilot or just a pilot in general?
So that's basically for me to hold a first-class medical certification. There's different classes of medical certifications. As a Part 121 air carrier pilot in command, I am required to hold and maintain first-class medical privileges. That requires a physical every single 6 months. And anyways, where I was going with this was I liked my aviation doctor so much, my whole family now goes to him, and he's our family doctor. And he's just absolutely amazing. I mean, honestly, he's so fucking conservative, guys. It wouldn't surprise me if he had a fucking vault at home with like fucking 2,000 ounces of gold in it. I mean, the guy's a lot like I am. He's pretty badass, but I liked him so much that my whole entire family switched to him. And he actually is he's the physician on the sheriff's department SWAT team too. So every time I guess the SWAT team gets called out, he goes out with them just in case an officer gets shot in the line of duty. And he's actually like fucking performed surgeries out in the field before when people have been shot. So he's an amazing physician, and I've never been a fan of doctors, but he's honestly one doctor that I truly trust. And he told me, he said, hey, my job is to keep you flying. He said, and I like you. He said, but I'm going to tell you something. I ain't going to risk my career for your ass. He's like, you need to fucking lose weight. And, at the end of the day, we only have one life. And I do believe that when it's our time to go, it's our time. But why stack the odds up against you? Why expedite the process? Like life is amazing if you just look around and enjoy it a little bit. So,
and it's also short.
What's that?
And it's also very short.
It's way too short, guys. I feel like yesterday I was in fucking high school. I feel like yesterday my older boys from my first marriage were born. And now they're 20. They're your age, patriotic. They're 24 and 25 years old.
You could be my dad.
They got their fucking own place. They live in the same town I do, but they live at the other end of town.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't know where the time went.
Yeah.
It passes you by so quickly. It's scary.
There's
no need to fuck yourself up and expedite the process.
Here's a personal
Look, one of the weird things was going to my 20-year high school reunion, and it's like,
oh yeah, I can imagine.
Well, so my 20-year high school reunion got canceled because of COVID. So I went to a very small private school. So what they did is decided to just do multi-year reunions now. Like every year, they'll just do reunions for like groups. So we had a couple guys that were in grades above me that I knew, and people were in grades below me. But we all got together because, like, my school only graduated like 60, 70 people a year, like their biggest class ever, which was mine. And it's like we're sitting there talking. It's like, fuck, dude, has it been 20 years since we graduated high school? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's crazy. Have you guys ever sat down, and you just think about it like, oh, what if I don't wake up? You know what I mean? Just, you ever just get those days, like all of a sudden, you won't think of it. And then, it'll just hit you hard. It'll hit you hard like, I'm going to die eventually.
That's one of the things that actually kind of got me into stacking.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's, I get that once in a while. Like it'll fucking hit me. And I'm young. I shouldn't have to be worried about this. You know what I mean? When you're young, you shouldn't be thinking about that. But it'll hit you, and it's kind of scary. You know what I mean? You don't know what to think. You feel sad, and then you feel scared, and then you kind of feel comfort. That's guaranteed. We're all going to die.
Well, most people don't like to think about their own mortality. Because we live in a culture where you know, everybody lives for today and they don't worry about tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, you know, but when you actually sit down and face your own mortality, that at some point you will not be part of this earth anymore. And you accept that and you start making plans for the people that you love. It's very liberating because, you know, while I don't want to leave this earth prematurely, I know that if something were to happen to me, Mrs. Liberty and the kids would be taken care of.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
You know, and every time I go to do something stupid, she's like calling the life insurance guy, like, you know, can we double the coverage? Smoking the house? Are you drunk?
I'm not drunk. This is the dog. He's checking on the front door.
Mrs.
I was looking up, you know, conspiracy theories, and you know, because I'll get, you know, it'll be midnight at night, and you know, you start looking on YouTube and you're watching these videos. There's this app that you can download on your phone, and it's like a quantum computer. It's like a supercomputer that sends you to these locations. Like you'll click on something, and like say, and it'll send you to like a random location in your area, and it's supposed to go by your intentions. So if you're feeling happy and you want to see things that, you know, will maybe lighten up your spirit, make you happy and joyful, it'll supposed to bring you to something, you know, like flowers or a beautiful waterfall, or maybe an old couple that's been married 70 years walking down the road, that just love each other to death, or kids playing in the playground laughing. Or if you think of death, depressing things, it'll bring you to show you these creepy, sad things. Or if you want to see spirits and ghosts and haunted houses, it'll take you there just by what your thoughts are, what you're thinking. Like, hey, I want to go and see someone die. And it's supposedly supposed to send you to places like that within your location. If you want to open it up, if you want to do 50 miles or 100 miles, it'll take you whatever. And the app's called Randonautica. Yeah, I think it's, and it's, you know, people, when they do it, I guess it's called randonauticing or whatever. And I was reading up on this thing, and it's fucking freaky, dude. Like, it sent these kids, like a couple of years ago, they were randonauticing on their app. They typed in they clicked on, and it generated a location in their area. So they followed the location, and it brought them to a beach shore. And there was a suitcase, and in that suitcase, they went to go to check in the suitcase. And this was in like a public place. This was a public boardwalk, beach and everything. It was on the off the pier on the rocks just before the beach. So these three teenagers, young adults, went to this bag, and they smelt an odor, a really bad odor. So they called the cops because they automatically thought the worst, because, you know, it was an odor coming from a suitcase. Well, they opened the suitcase, and there was bags, like, and then they called the cops, and it was a dead body, a chopped up dead body in this bag.
The fuck?
Dude, look it up on YouTube. It's documented. It was on the news. And if you type
that is some weird shit,
dude, this randonauticing app is sending people to these things, and it's supposed to be run by a quantum computer, and it's supposed to go by your intent. If you click generate location, and you have the intentions of evil, you want to see something evil, you want to see a ghost or whatever, or a murder, it'll send you to these places, dude. And you're not even typing in like, I want to see evil. You're thinking of what you want to see, and you'll see it. There was this other video that they sent. This guy wanted to see something. His intention was scary. And it sent him into the woods. And there was an abandoned car with kids' toys. Like an old abandoned car from the 70s that sat there for years, rusted out. And there was kid toys around. And then all you heard in the video was a girl say, "You want to play? Help me. Help me. You want to play?" And he freaked out. He got on his bike, his motorcycle, a dirt bike, and rode off and went back the next day, I guess, because his viewers wanted him to go back. Same thing. I was looking up on this app and I downloaded it on my phone and stuff. I haven't done it yet. But I want to fucking, see if this shit's like, fuck. I want to experience some of this shit. But
well, here's my take on it, guys. I'm not saying that I don't believe that. And as a matter of fact, I do believe that. But here's my official spin. Some things might just be best left alone.
I think it's like a Ouija board, dude. I think it's like
I personally wouldn't want to have anything to do with that shit.
Mrs. Lib wants to go to this place in here in South Louisiana called the Myrtles Plantation, which is it's renowned for being a haunted plantation. The Myrtles. That was where the plantation go by the slaves, weren't they? Yeah, and supposedly it's like haunted, and I'm kind of like, I'm not going because not all things that wander this earth are lost. And she thinks it would be awesome.
The Myrtles Plantation is haunted. 1,000% haunted. That's documented and it's verified.
And I'm not going.
Well, dude, that's the thing. You know what I mean? I'm not. I like to get a good. I'm curious. You know what I mean? I like to fucking.
I ain't trying to go fuck with no poltergeist.
You should go with me.
The thing that I wouldn't, I won't fuck with a Ouija board. I won't read no fucking witchcraft books or anything like that because that's. I won't fuck with anything demonic or anything like that. Any kind of shit like that. But I am curious with certain things. Like I've always wanted.
Is a Ouija board demonic? You brought up a Ouija board. Is it demonic?
Oh yeah, every little bit of it.
Is it demonic or is it a portal to allow spirits that might be on this earth to almost like a communication tool? Like, I don't fucking know. I'm asking.
The thing is, in the Bible,
I can tell you this: there's some things that are just better left alone.
Exactly.
That is 1,000% I agree with.
And in the Bible, there is no such thing as spirits. Spirits are demonic. All spirits, ghosts are demonic.
Angels.
I don't necessarily agree with that, Patriotic. I think there's good and bad in this world on Earth, and I think there's good and bad in the spirit world as well.
There's angels. There's angels, but most, if you're in your house and your lights are flickering and shit like that.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe, what do you believe happens to us when we die? When we die, do you believe we go to heaven, go to hell? What do you think happens?
There's heaven or there's hell. I don't believe in purgatory.
Okay.
So you go to heaven or you go to hell.
So if you can buy into a heaven and a hell, is it really that far-fetched to believe that after we die and our spirit leaves our body, that we don't have to go immediately there?
I think the condemned, are that's are left and go to hell, and whoever roam the earth, most of the time, are demonic forces of some sort. I believe in, of course, angels, and I believe in signs from our loved ones. Like, for example, if you're sitting outside and you see a blue robin or a red robin, or what do they call them there? Those red birds or blue birds, robins.
Bluebirds and robins are
That's
hard.
supposed to be a sign of your loved one. You know, I believe in signs and stuff from your loved ones trying to communicate with you in dreams and other things after their passing or whatever. But like, you know, with people seeing shadow people, you know, experience poltergeist activities, lights, TVs flickering on and off. You know, I believe that's demonic. You know, once you pass and you've lived the will of God, the way God and Jesus have wanted you to live, do the right thing. He's not going to want you to roam the earth. He's going to want you in heaven. You know what I mean? So why would we be roaming? Either we go to hell or we go to heaven. And so I don't know. I think a lot of.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just posing honest hypothetical
My
questions.
opinion
And
with
the truth
the
of it
Ouija
is,
board,
none of us know. We're all speculating.
We don't know, and we'll never know until the day we pass.
Right.
I mean, but we all know pretty much that there are forces on this earth. There's been footage of spirits and these things happening to people, and there clearly are haunted houses. I'm sure at least someone in the chat or one of us experienced situations, scary things that we couldn't put our finger on, and or couldn't see, but knew it was happening in front of us, but we couldn't see anything. It's a lot of people experience stuff like this, but the Ouija board, that's something I would not fuck with. And at the same time, I'm curious. I love going Halloween time. I love going to haunted houses, not like the fake ones, real ones. I remember going to the Eastern State Penitentiary in Pennsylvania, which was supposed to be one of the hauntest prisons in America, in Gettysburg. I love shit like that. But at the same time, like, because I'm curious. You know what I mean? I think we're all curious, but there's things I wouldn't want to fuck with. You know what I mean? Like portals or symbols and certain symbols or witchcraft or Ouija boards. I would not fuck with anything like that. And that's what I'm like. I was reading up on this app, and it says run by a quantum computer, but like, it kind of reminds me of like a Ouija board type deal. Like, how's that app going to send you to a fucking murder scene, to dead bodies, to haunted places? Just generate it and go by your intentions, what you want to see or what you're feeling.
I think that sounds scary as fuck, and
to
be honest with you, it creeps me out even talking about that shit.
Yeah, and I wanted to experience with my wife. I said, you know what, the kids are at my parents right now. Let's we'll have good intentions. Let's we got a location we can go to. It's generates to literally 3 miles down the road. And I said, if we have good intentions, I guess we'll try it out. I said, fuck it. She said, fuck that. She ain't trying it. She's like, I'm not gonna even mess with it.
Smart woman.
Yeah. And and that was like my curiosity taking part. Like, oh, what the fuck? I want to see. I want to see what's up with this. It's kind of weird and kind of freaky. You know what I mean? But dude, there's so many crazy shit that goes on and weird things, man. You know what I mean? That it makes you think. I love sitting back at night and watching like YouTube videos. Like, I follow like Nuke's top 10 and Chills. Footage of spirits supposedly that were caught on film, and situations like UFO sightings and stuff like that, because it's something we don't see every day. We don't experience it, so it's interesting.
Have you guys seen a UFO?
Yeah, well.
And keep in mind, a UFO is
something
not
you can't identify.
Some alien from Little Green Man from Mars. And a UFO is just something in the sky that you can't explain. Identify. You can't identify it.
So I'll tell you my story. Now, if you look up New York, you look up Pine Bush, New York. That's where my wife's from. She was raised in the town of Pine Bush, and that is one of the top UFO sightings in America. In that town, they even have a UFO festival, an alien festival each year around like summertime.
Roswell, New Mexico is the probably the most famous city in the U.S.
Yep, 1947.
47, yep. Correct.
That's a big one too. But this town,
it's a tourist trap for like. There's literally alien souvenir shops through the whole town.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. That's this town is kind of like that town. It is known. If you look up Pine Bush, New York, I swear, dude, you are in Liberty. Look it up. It'll pop up with so many articles and stuff. It was a humongous UFO sighting area. So, so I live in an area where there's, a lot of farmlands, a lot of fields, a lot of, big open skies. So, you get a lot of, I can see where there's, a lot of sightings.
I saw the Phoenix Mystery Lights.
Well, you seen those lights?
Google it. I was one of the thousands, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people in Phoenix, Arizona that witnessed that. I was just one of them.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I'll tell you my story here, and this is freaky. So me, my cousin Emily, and my aunt were driving in a town called Deer Park, another town close to me. And we seen these lights. There was like 4 or 5 of them. Little lights. They weren't blinking. They were just little lights, like bright lights in the sky. And we were just looking at it because it wasn't a star, wasn't no satellite, and it definitely wasn't a plane. Because usually you can hear it. If you don't hear it, you see them blinking. And you usually see red and blue or green. They're blinking. Well, these weren't blinking. These were in the sky. And we were getting closer. We were slowing down. And other cars were slowing down because they were, they thought something was up too. And once we got closer, we seemed it formed a triangle. And you could tell, you could see stars around it. But you could tell once you got closer, it was literally like a mass. It was a giant mass inside. Like it was pitch dark, but you knew it was probably like a ship, a humongous, aircraft. And it was a form. The lights were in a triangle, and you could tell like it was pitch black, but around it, outside the triangle, there were stars and everything. So in the middle, it was like something was there. And my cousin, she started, freaking out. And she wasn't a baby, she wasn't a kid or nothing. She was, she's in her early 20s. She was freaking out, and she told her mother, drive. But me and my aunt, we were so memorized. What's the word? Memorized by memorized by looking at this thing. We were like, what the hell? And other cars were slowing down and pulling over like us. Like, what the fuck? And she had like a panic attack, my cousin. So we had we got in the car because we pulled over and we stepped out, and she was freaking the fuck out. Well, she didn't step out, she stayed in the car, but she was freaking out. Like she was like hyperventilating. She was going nuts, like she seen someone got murdered or something. And we drove off, and me and my aunt continued to kind of look back. And dude, I remember her went into the house, and she ran up the stairs in her room, and she fucking locked herself in her room. She was fucked up. But yeah, that was my experience.
So, wives are making fun of us on the text message.
I mean, at the end of the day, a UFO is exactly just that. It's a UFO. And I do believe that the military quite frequently does test things that that we are completely unaware of. And, that could be some of it. But, until I have like hardcore solid proof in front of me, it's hard for me to stomach some of that shit. But by the same token, I also think we're very naive if we think we're the only intelligent life.
Exactly. That's what I tell everybody, regardless of proof or not.
I don't believe in UFOs in terms of like the little green men and flying saucers from Mars, but I think it's kind of naive to think that we're the only intelligent life form in the entire never-ending universe.
Yeah, exactly. There's got to be, maybe not in our solar system, but outside our solar system, there's got to be some type of life form. And that's another thing. You have stories of people, sightings. The U.S. military even agrees that there's some life form. They've seen it. They've caught footage of these UFOs in their fighter crafts. There was back in a couple of years ago. There was, and the footage was just released not so long ago. There was these jets trying to chase down this object, and they could not keep up with it. And it was all on film. You can look it up. United States jets come close to a UFO, and you got to look it up on YouTube. There's videos about it. But yeah, no, dude, it's freaky. It really is. You know what I mean? It's because we never experienced anything like that. So it's hard for us to kind of believe it. But I believe it 100%. Just look at it this way too. We know more about space than we know about our own ocean. I think 4% of our ocean's discovered, something like that. Yeah, there's so many other things out there. It's crazy.
Well, we can create high-powered telescopes that can see like unspeakable distances.
Yeah.
And
millions of light years away.
Then you get to some of the deepest parts of the ocean, and it's very difficult to even access those. It's not like you can just put on a pair of fucking goggles and stick your head in the water and look down and see everything down there. I mean,
and it's crazy to see the animals and stuff that live down there, like the shrimp.
They look like aliens too.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. You hear stories of creatures in the woods. People have sightings of these.
The Rougarou,
Bigfoot, or the Jersey Devil, or you got a Dog Man.
What do y'all have here in Florida?
See, that's the thing about Tuesday Night Trash Talk, y'all. Yeah, you never know where we're going to end up. We talked about freaking people dying and fucking ghosts and UFOs and Bigfoot and holy shit, what the fuck? Oh, and then fucking weight loss. Like, you just never know where our conversations are going to go.
Yeah, man, conspiracy theory. But I love talking about shit like this. You know what I mean? It's, some people might think you're crazy or whatever, but these are like the biggest wonders of pretty much everybody. Like how, aliens or UFOs and spirits and stuff like that.
This is why I love doing this live stream, guys, because this is where I can actually, just say what I want to say, raw and unedited. And hey, this is Triple P. Like, what you see is what you get. And if you like me, that's awesome. And if you don't like me, that's awesome too. No hard feelings. And, there's plenty of other YouTube channels out there that you probably do like. And you guys know I don't give a fuck about my number of subs. I'm probably one of the few guys that like hardly ever even checks on my, what do you call those things? The stats and shit that you go to.
Yeah, analytics.
Analytics. Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't even, I'm one of the few guys that could give a rat's ass about that.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
like I'm never gonna make any money doing YouTube,
Dude,
and I don't even need the money. This is just fucking something
fun.
I can get my
It's a
rocks
hobby.
off once in a
Exactly.
while.
And this is why I came to you for us to start this our little show here, is because we are ourselves. You know what I mean? We're not hiding behind a mask or anything, and we have a lot in common with a lot of shit, and we and we can just talk about all these things that other tell me another precious metal channel on YouTube that talks about these things. It's pretty much just all gold and silver, and obviously that's our main thing. That's what we like to talk about. That's our channel. But
sure, that's our main focus. That
yeah,
the economy and financial prepping and Oh wait, by the way, hold on, time out. Shameless plug. Prepping Thursday night. The SHTF Survival Series again at 8:00 p.m. Eastern time. It's starting. Is it your channel, Liberty?
No, I think it's
Pirate,
Scorpion. Pirate. Then we go to Silver Scorpion.
Then me.
Then Patriotic. Then me, and then you.
Okay. And Pirate's on a fucking airplane right now.
Yeah, he jetted the country.
What did you say, Mrs. Triple P?
The Queen's Jubilee. We actually need to record it.
The fucking Pirate's on a British Airways.
He's going to attend the Queen's Jubilee.
On his way to fucking England right now. I'm jealous.
Hey, you guys look what Silver Ocean's commented here. I heard about this too. Creepy on is the black-eyed children. These kids who come to your door and ask nicely to come in, and then they look up at you and they'll have black eyes. Have you guys heard about those?
No, that sounds creepy as fuck.
Dude, yeah, there's these.
I'm gonna fucking not sleep tonight. Thanks a lot, Oceans.
Yeah, no, there's these kids that they try to
put this motherfucker under my pillow.
They try to get you to feel, because they know they're kids, so they can whatever entity it is or whatever. They're you hear sightings of them, and people. It's another thing like Bigfoot and Dogman or whatever. But it's these kids. And we all have soft spots for children. We all feel bad for children. We all want to go and help children. This goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Well, this entity or whatever, as a child that has black eyes, and they'll cry or they'll be sad or whatever. So to kind of get you to go up to them and approach them, and to bring them into your house, or give them a ride, or help them find their mom or whatever. And come to find out, they're these terrible entities that like cause you to go crazy and commit suicide or whatever. Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's late at night and you start looking up shit, and you're watching videos.
B squared's just fucking said it best. Children of the fuck that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad I was out in the fucking woods. Like,
that's
indoor. Like, you got fucking lost, Todd.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but dude, there's so many fucking crazy things, dude. It's.
Who the fuck said that? Oceans? Fucking. I'm a moderator. I need to put fucking Oceans in like a 10-minute timeout. Fuck that.
What?
Fucking now I'm not falling asleep till 3 a.m. Thanks a lot.
Dude, yeah, no, it's crazy, and you don't know what to believe with like sightings like that, like Bigfoot sightings and stuff, because there's been so many people that had sightings of shit. And like I said, our world is pretty big, and there's vast woods, wildernesses and stuff. And
so like one of the places I love to go duck hunting is in the Pearl River Wildlife Management Area. I've got a great spot to go hunt wood ducks out there. But I can tell you, walking through that slough to get there, like, man, it's some of the fucking creepiest shit. Like, man, you feel like you're just being watched. Like, there's something just, and I'm not like I don't get scared. But I can tell you every once in a while, it's like, I grab my 12 gauge, grab, a box of steel shot, and it's like, Then you're looking around, into this trail in a gravel parking lot. It's like, man, there's something to fuck out here.
Well, you know what? Here's the fucking thing. If I can't fucking shoot it, I don't want to fuck with it.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. When I go in the woods, especially when me and my wife or whatever, we just go in the woods and go for walks and stuff. I'm always packing. Always. I always have a gun of some sort when I go into the woods.
Well, you need to, and not just for the 2-legged predators, but the 4-legged ones too.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you never know. You never know what's out there. And I'm not saying I'm a believer of a lot of this stuff, but my luck, I'll be walking in the woods and I fucking see Bigfoot and he's chasing me.
Well, Mrs. Triple P and I were walking through the woods. Babe, what was it? Like maybe 6 months ago?
Probably.
We were walking through the woods and we had the kids with us, and it was just starting to get dark. So, just as the kind of like when you're getting close to dusk, that's when some of the wildlife starts waking up and starts getting more active.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was something fucking big moving through the brush, and you can tell by the way something moves if it's like maybe some little armadillo or raccoon, or if it's something bigger like maybe a whitetail or a hog or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing, like, I could see the frickin' brush up to about like maybe 3.5 feet above the ground was moving and shaking. I mean, it was something of substantial size walking through the brush, and it kept getting closer and closer and closer to us, to the point of we just stopped, and Mrs. Triple P was kind of very still and a little frozen, and I had my fucking hand on my pistol ready to draw down because I thought it was coming out, and it got really fucking close, never came out, and then it just kind of like went in the other direction. And I never found out what it was. But, in these woods out here, we do have cougars, we do have black bears, so there ain't no telling what it can be.
Cougars.
But what's that?
I was making fun of you for saying cougars.
Cougar, yeah. Yeah, I've ridden a few cougars in my day, but not that kind of cougar. But I mean, mountain lions, panthers, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I mean, you got to take care. You got to protect yourself because you never know what's in those woods.
I mean, I always take when I go deer hunting or duck hunting. I always take a handgun with me, just because. I mean, you never know. There's been times where I went out duck hunting and I walked down this slough, which connects to the Pearl River Swamps system, and I'm in knee-deep water, sitting on a stump, waiting for the wood ducks to fly in, and realize that there's an alligator in this slough, maybe 25 feet away from me. And I'm like, you know what? Do I need to shoot some damn ducks today, or do I just need to get the fuck on out of here? Because he can move a lot faster through that water than I can.
Oh yeah,
even
absolutely.
if I wasn't fat as fuck.
Well, they can move fast on the land too, but only for short distances.
Yeah, no. You never know. You never fucking know. I've had encounters with black bears walking in the woods. And I'll tell you, it's scary, because you never know.
Most of the time with black bears, you just gotta, make yourself look bigger than they are.
Yeah, you puff up or you make loud noises. Another thing too that works is if you bring a coffee can or something, or any type of metal can, you fill it with rocks. And if they get close, within, not too close, but you can shake that, and it gives off the sound like a rattlesnake. And they're obviously terrified of rattlesnakes. and they usually, run off.
I know someone else who is terrified of rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a fucked up situation, I'll tell you that. Fucking, I hate them all. I hate all snakes.
Sorry, bro. I couldn't resist.
That's probably the most scariest fucking thing in the woods. Is a fucking rattlesnake.
Well, shit, guys. I think it's getting kind of late. I'm probably out here. We've been on for over a couple hours now, and Mrs. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I want to spend a little bit of time with Mrs. Triple P because tomorrow, or actually rather in about another 30 minutes from now, is when her father passed away in September, and tomorrow would have been her father's birthday. So,
all right.
So I'm gonna bounce and cut out. But it was a great talk as always, and Thursday night SHTF Survival Series this Thursday night. Then we're back on again, patriotic, next Tuesday, a week from today.
And I have our guest for next Tuesday ready to go.
Awesome. And that'll be next week. That'll be on my channel next week.
Yep. And that's going to be a new silver stacker, a new stacker in our community.
Perfect.
Cool.
Who are you going to reveal who it is?
Yeah, new silver stacker.
Oh. All right. I thought you were just saying, hey, it's a new silver stacker.
Now you want to talk about you think I've been doing good. Haven't even been on a year, probably about 5-6 months I've had YouTube. And I've got to 700 subscribers just as of today. This guy started a month after me, and he's already monetized. And he's at 1,200, almost 1,300 subscribers.
Well, it should be a good show then, and I'm definitely looking forward to it, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Liberty, thanks for coming on, brother.
It means a lot, and it was fun, dude. It really was, and we've touched on a lot of topics today, and I hope you guys can sleep well tonight.
Mrs. Triple P piping in again.
I hope you're not in too much trouble from Mrs. Liberty.
No, I don't. She doesn't seem angry.
All
I
right.
bought her flowers and I cooked her a steak dinner. So
well, go give her a foot rub or something, and then what's that? So, all right, gentlemen, it was a blast as always, and I'll catch everybody later.
All right, guys, you guys enjoy. God bless, and we'll see you all on Thursday, I hope. And then we'll be back on Triple P's channel on Tuesday with a new silver stacker. So, all right, guys, you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Thank you.
Pilot. Peace out, Liberty. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Hey, thank y'all for having me.
All
Good
right,
night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Peace out.
Bye.